Okay, so in this class, which is still rhythm focused, we're going to begin with a mantra, which is something that we explored in the last class. And the wisdom interview from last month was about sound healing, and there was a little sprinkling of mantras in there. And so we are going to do a few ohms. And as you may remember from last class and the interview, the O is the first letter of the Sanskrit alphabet, and the M is the last letter of the Sanskrit alphabet. So the Om is this kind of beautiful spectrum of the beginning and the end of the Sanskrit alphabet. And we are going to do our Oms in the way that Margot had taught us in the wisdom interview, which is about half of it is the O, about half of it is the M. And the is kind of like an internalization of the sound. And we all have a different pitch, a different tone. So what I want to suggest is that you actually turn your sound off. You can even turn me off. But just so that you can sing your at your own level, because so often when I've been in classes, I find it really difficult to kind of resonate because someone sings a little higher or a little lower than where my voice sits. Having said that, I'm actually going to start off with playing. I'm just walking over to my keyboard. I'm going to play a middle C, and we're just going to go ah, and we're just going to think of it just as like a voice warm up, because we warm up in our work, in our movement work that we do. We warm up our bodies, and our voice and our vocal cords are no different. There are so many exercises that singers do to warm up the throat, and so we're just going to literally go ah a few times. Whoops, there's a middle C. So just to see if you can get that note, just go with an ah. And take a big breath in, one big breath. And just let that exhale keep going. Again, let's do it a few times. Let the breath in and the exhale, feel the sound moving. And you can visualize like a river coming out of you, the sound. Breath in. And now think about your diaphragm. Think about your diaphragm actually pushing the air out of you, so that as you get to that last part where your voice starts to get kind of, it gets wavery at the end when we lose our breath, push with your diaphragm the air. So a big breath in, almost like an angel has touched you. One more. Big breath in. Okay, so I chose middle C because for me that's really easy. We're going to go here, which maybe I'm going to let Sherry come in. We're going to go a little higher. So just sing that note for me, if you can get that note. So that's an E. It's harder for me. Now we're going to try and sing that note. So we're going to go a little higher, which maybe will be easier. And you can do it different if you want to go E. Let's do E. So we actually warm up our mouth. Hello, Sherry.
Hi, we're singing. Oh, come on.
Just warming up our voices, and then we're going to do a few ohms because we warm up our bodies, so we're going to warm up our voice as well. So I've gone a little higher. We started where I really like, nice and low. My voice isn't warm up, so that's hard. Okay, so just mute yourself, Sherry, so that you can sing loud but not be cautious about
it. Good
it.
idea.
And then let's find this note. Big breath in. now we're going to go higher. Oh dear. So a big breath in again. And let's go that high one again, but do it really quietly. So it's almost like a whisper of a sound. Big breath in. Okay, and now, without a piano, let's just do 3 ohms. So I want you to bring your hands to your chest. And this is just heartful sound. And this is the feeling of vibration that sound, which is our own instrument, gives us. And we are feeling as we do these ohms, how our own instrument, our own voice resonates, allowing that the beauty of our own voices to be true at our own pitch. So let's take 3 ohms. First of all, just a breath in and a breath out. And then a breath in, and with the exhale starting. Again. And then pause for a moment, just breathing in, and just notice in your own body, even though there is a quietness where you can't be heard by the others, did you stay relaxed in your being, or did you get a little anxious as you produced the sound? Are you fully inhabiting the back of your body? Is your belly relaxed? And let's do 2 more. So breath in, staying in the health, and release. And a quiet one to finish. And then something like an opening prayer. Let's do the little mantra that we did with Margot before. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Just saying these words yourself. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Let's say it again, and then we'll sing it if you'd like to, or you can just speak the words. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. And then you can just sing with me, or you can speak it, because maybe your instrument is actually, maybe you're a rap star. So, I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. We'll sing it a few times. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Really staying present in your body. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Let's do it 3 more times, and let's place our hands maybe just intuitively wherever you want. Maybe on your diaphragm, solar plexus. Let's just change it up a little bit. Let's do 3 more times. Breathing in. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. One more. Fully soft, relaxed in your body. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. And then I want you to place your hands just over your eyes, and I want you to massage your eyes a little bit. Breathe in and out, and then massage your temples. Massage under your cheekbones, and strong masseter muscles at the hinge, just below the hinge of your jaw. And then your nose. From the bridge of your nose, just smoothing out under your beautiful eyes. And then just smoothing your scalp. And then bringing your hands down your throat a couple of times. And then bringing your hands over your chest bone, your sternum. Making small circles once upon a time under here. The gland, the thymus gland, was really large as a child, and as an adult, it's really tiny. You can still think, though, about hormonal health and this amazing gland that changes through life. And then bring your hand a little lower, your hands just rubbing in between your breasts. And this area here, the sternum, becomes a place where the sternum and then just the edges where with the ribs at the front meet. We always think of the ribs at the back of the body, but here the ribs are meeting the front of the chest. And this area carries little nuggets of tension. So let's just massage the length of your sternum, and you'll feel the soft part just underneath, just all the way up and down a couple of times, releasing some of the chest tension that we carry. And it tends to be really deep tension that's here. We think the heart underneath, the heart is surrounded by this really strong fibrous sac, the pericardium, which is anchored really strongly underneath to the sternum. And sometimes just knowing, having a kind of visual of the anatomy that's in the body is just interesting. It gives us a different appreciation. It's not just the sternum that you're rubbing, but we are attentive and aware to what lies inside, hidden. And then let's bring the hands to the solar plexus and just make small circles of your solar plexus. And focusing now on your exhale. And just bringing yourself here to class. That in spite of the day before and the day and the evening ahead of you, right here, right now, all is well. And you are open to receiving exactly what you need to bring yourself back to neutral, to bring yourself back to this place of sacred spaciousness. And then sacred spaciousness. There is connection amongst us as wise women, connection that is spacious and wise and kind. And there is also the space for you to rediscover and reconnect with exactly who you are. And then let's come to standing. Goodbye, Marnie. Thank you for joining. Let's come to standing. And let's do a couple of movements like this. The hands are just going to come up and down. And the feet are hip width apart. And I want you to feel the fingers tracing the air. And the movement, slow it down. Slow it down so you feel the richness of your being and the richness of the space that your body inhabits. And the movement is relaxed. The elbows are relaxed, the wrists are relaxed, and we don't go very high with the shoulders. Keep it simple. And I want you to imagine you're drawing threads of energy up that leave tracers of light in their wake. And then our hands just lightly, lightly descend. And each time we draw our hands up, we're drawing these beautiful traces of energy that are rich and illuminating. And perhaps more than that, as we do this movement, the front of the body softens and we open to a feeling of comfort, a feeling of at-homeness in our beings, a feeling of returning home to all that is essential. With great self-love, with great appreciation for all that you are. Doing this movement to give yourself exactly what it is that you really need right now, without belittling your needs. Your needs are so important. And then let's bring the arms up and hold them up as a pair of wings. The elbows relaxed and a little bit weighted, shoulders relaxed. And if this is hard on your shoulders, your wings can be a little bit lower. I want you to stand with a little bit of a flared posture, so the chest pops out just a little bit. But then I want you to tuck your tailbone so you're not stressing your low back. And you may imagine great eagle wings or raven wings or guardian angel wings. Or perhaps you just have a dove of peace on your shoulder. Feel a presence of support at the back of your body, enabling you to shine your light at the front of your body, enabling you to stand open-hearted. And then bring your arms in front of you like a pair of wings that are circling and wrapping around you. And let your elbows relax against your body. And let your posture become a very little bit rounded where there's this feeling of being held in womb-like protection. And so you're supported and nurtured and hidden. Allow yourself to be hidden and embraced in darkness. Close your eyes. And then slowly start, without opening your eyes, but slowly start to stand a little taller within this feeling of embrace and protection. Knowing that with this protection, within this embrace, you can still let yourself blossom and expand. And then carry the feeling of protection and support and embrace and slowly open the wings. And do it very, very slowly. So if you lose that sense, just come back into the wrapping, into the hold. But if you can hold that sense of protection, slowly open your arms. And it might be that you need to keep the arms slightly open, or slightly closed. And then carrying it open, and just feel the nuances as you start to fan the feathers of these wings. As they start to go open more and more, you stand more in a space of really kind of flourishing energetically. And then just let it go. And do a few circles with your shoulders. And let's go into a little joint circling. So let's circle the wrists. And then let's circle the elbows. And then let's circle the shoulders just as best you can. And it may be, I'm just thinking of you, Sherry, with the frozen shoulders, it may be that your shoulder circles are actually more of this movement, just depending on what feels right. Or it could be that we do big movements. Either way, as we circle the shoulders, and as I do this big movement with my arms, I'm really thinking as well about the ribs, really opening the sides of the body. And now I'm thinking about my hips. So keep circling your shoulders, but see how you can bring the hips in. So my hips are kind of going in swirling movement side to side. So can you circle your shoulders and get a little bit, I'm finding my word here, really feminine in a rich way, using your hips. And I'm, sensual is the word I was going to use, but without thinking of it in, can be sexual, but more in a way of just claiming the space of your hips and your pelvis, this beautiful part of the body. And then I want you to do hands on your hips, some really big circles. And emphasize sticking your butt out behind you. And feel the expression, even as we go forwards with the pubic bone arching and pushing forwards, let there be an expression there where in this own safe space where you are seen only by yourself, you allow your body to go into the fullness of the movement. You can place a hand either side of your hips or one in front and one behind. Circle the other direction. And feel the beauty of your hip, pelvis area, the space of your uterus, your bladder, your ovaries. And then let's shift our awareness to our low back and let's massage. So with the hands like so, we're going to knead the low back. We're going to knead the muscles of the low back, and we're going to start to bounce a little bit, releasing, shaking ourselves up or shaking down. And exhale with a little bit of a just getting rid of any cobwebs. Let your hands move a little bit higher so they start to maybe find the lower ribs. Keep releasing cobwebs. Relax your shoulders as you do this. It's your forearms that are working a little bit more. And then we're going to do a water movement. So having massaged this area where the kidneys are, we're going to brush with the back of the hands, brushing downwards and bending the knees. And imagining water just trailing down, releasing. Lovely, really nice. And then let it go. Stand still just for a second. Catching your breath. Place one hand level with your solar plexus, the other hand on top. Relax your elbows. Feet hip width apart. Lean ever so slightly forwards. Just a little bit more weight on the balls of your feet. Your knees are slightly bent. And imagine that there is a walking stick under your hands. And feel the connection to earth. The walking stick touching the earth. And imagine, see what comes to you. Where do you imagine yourself to be? Place yourself out in nature with your walking stick. Just see what comes. Where have you arrived? What is this place? And what sense of relief does it give you to have arrived in this place of nature? Is the ground hard or sandy? Are there leaves or grasses on the ground? Is there dew? How does the air feel? And around you a little further, are there trees? Are there hills? Are there rivers and oceans? And what creatures live here? What are the land creatures? Foxes, mice? Are your pets with you? Breathe in the richness and the comfort. And then release your hands. And let's go into our three rhythms. Let's go into the 3 movements. So we have this one. And these 3 rhythms, we're going to go through each one as we like to do. And then we're going to choose what feels like our favorite for today. And we're going to use it as nervous system medicine. And to create really good nervous system medicine, we need to cultivate a sense of safety. If we cultivate safety, healing can happen. And earlier in the class, I said some words in one of the exercises, not to belittle your own struggles. Our struggles are real. And when we belittle our struggles, we don't give ourselves a sense of safety. We give ourselves the opposite. So we don't need to go into a story of poor me. We all have struggles. And here is where we work our struggles out. Here is where we give ourselves kindness and nourishment and an absolute sense of okayness that whatever the struggle is right now, that, well, it's okay. And there's healing space and self-love, self-acceptance. So as we do this, the struggles that you hold, you don't necessarily need to create an inventory of your struggles. But there will be little edges of you as you do the movement that maybe you haven't quite relaxed fully yet into class. Maybe you're still feeling a little busy in your head. Maybe you feel sad. Maybe there's some stuff that you can't quite explain. And I don't want you to try and explain it to yourself. I want you just to bring yourself into your being and notice what's here. Your body is like a treasure chest, full of sensation. And sensation is all mixed with emotion. And emotion is fed by our hormones, by our sleep, by the seasons, by our health, by the events of the day, by the actions of others, the actions of ourselves, to ourselves. So we bring all of this, and in this treasure chest now of our bodies, here today on Monday, International Women's Day, just explore what's here. What's here for you today? What are the feelings and stories that you've brought to class that we slowly are giving some air to? Almost like we're opening the windows, letting in some fresh air, some sunlight, letting the dust and the cobwebs out. Slow down your movement and come into this movement, circling, and your fingers tracing the water and feeling the spaciousness around you. Allowing your hips to move and your spine to twist. Let your body move to the right, so that all your weight is on your right foot and then on your left foot. Let your shoulders relax. The palms are open, the fingertips receptive. And more, you come home to your being. Knowing that this space that you are in, both in class and in your physical home, You are safe. You have created a safe, beautiful space. Move your hands the other direction now. This space around you, you're clearing and you're cleaning the energy. You're making your space beautiful. And then slow it down. Just pause for a second before we go into our third movement. If you want, you can bring your hands back to your staff, your walking stick, or just let them be at your sides. Pause for a second. Feel as though you've taken a deep, quenching sip that you can feel through every part of your body. You at home in your body. Noticing how absolutely wonderful you are. How wonderful, how original. How lovable you are. And then release your hands and let's just go into our third movement. Let's go into our shaking. Relaxing the shoulders. The arms are just hanging heavily by our sides. And we want to try and make the back muscles and the buttocks and the area and all around the pelvis be loose and easy. The thighs are relaxed. And it's like everything can start to settle. Almost as if we had sand that had collected in certain spots. This gentle shaking would just release the sand that maybe is caught and held. Places of tension and start to organize, reorganize, release. The strong muscles of our neck can soften. The hinge of the jaw can soften. And the back of the body and the front body of the body. Imagine that there's like a meeting place somewhere in the middle of you, between the back and the front of you. And as you shake, you can start to find your balance between leaning forwards and leaning back and being centered. And then just notice your feet. Spread your toes, relax your toes. Relax your ankles. And let the next few breaths be a little bit deeper without straining. And I want you to keep doing that. And I'm going to find a song. A sip of my hot chocolate. And if you want, you can pause for a second And I'm going to have a sip of water, have a mini moment while I find a song. And then we're just going to choose which of the movements we want to do. Or maybe all three. And what we're going to do after this song is we're going to do a little bit of groundwork afterwards, and then we'll reconnect and have a little bit of a chat and see how we're all doing. And then maybe a little bit more movement time, depending. So let's get started. I'm going to put the song on, and you can just choose the movement that you like. want to teach you one more little thing that there's a sequence that I've just been playing around with. So we're going to do a little bit more standing work. I want you to find your balance left and right. I want you to bring your right foot up. You see how my foot is just kind of resting against my knee. Let me adjust myself, and also I need to just see me, myself, and I to see what I'm showing you. Okay, so we're going to slide the foot up. See how I just slid my foot up the side, and then I brought it to rest just against the side of the knee, and then place the foot down, spread your toes, and do the same on the other side until we have a pause point where it rests against the knee, and then just place it down. To me, it feels important to slide the slowness of drawing the leg, or the foot, I should say, up, and then holding it just so that the edge is touching your knee, your inner knee, and then just place it down. It doesn't feel important that it slide its way down. The way up, as though we are really attentive to our balance. And then there is this gracefulness of this hold and releasing. And now let's bring the arms in as well. You can have, again, just whatever works for your shoulders. But I'm going to do like the wings that we did before, where we were drawing these beautiful strands of energy from the pelvis area. So as we bring the foot up, let's also bring the arms up, and then just releasing. Drawing up with our hands, releasing. Let's do it a few more times, and then we're going to add to it. We're going to get stronger with our balance. We're going to pull a little bit from the world of yoga. One more time. And then the next one, let's bring one foot up. I want you to bring your hands in front of you and hold your heart. Hold the energy, a heartfelt energy between your hands. And then keep holding that energy tenderly and with love, and see if you can balance. You'll want to bend your standing leg just a little bit and tip yourself forwards. Slowly, slowly. And maybe you come to here, or maybe you can take the leg all the way out behind you and balance. And then just release and stand back up. And you release, just let it all go. Soft, so nothing falls and breaks, just letting it go. And then the other side. So we bring the foot up, our arms up, and we're going to bring our hands in, holding the energy of our hearts. And we're going to tip forwards, just a little way or a lot, and start to extend the leg out behind you. And keep the connection in your hands to being chest-centered, heart-centered. And then let it go and stand up. And softly, just as a dancer, just do a little bit of that. Let's just do a couple of times that little jump that we did, because there's a lightness to it that's nice. And sometimes in yoga, we get really like, I must be straight, a little bit robotic. But I want there to be just like a little bit of the lightness. So do that a few times, please. Boom. The little bit of lightness of the jump, the play, the feeling of up and down. So we're going to go up, and then we're going to touch the floor. So we go up and then down, touch the ground, up and down. So it's one leg, the other kind of goes a little bit daintily behind. Find the ground, and your jump can be big if you feel energetic, or it can be more like a token jump if you don't really want to do a big jump. Sometimes our bodies want more energy, sometimes less energy. 2 more times, please. Okay, and then come back to this movement. Pause for a second. I'm catching my breath. So let's bring, doesn't matter if it's right or left, one side, bring the leg up, and then bringing your hands to your heart. Take your leg out behind you. Release your hands out to the sides like an airplane. Great pair of wings. And then if you want to open it into half moon, you can drop the arm down and reach the other arm up. So just making shapes and then come back up. Thinking of it really is just making shapes, but shapes that have strength and elegance and energy. And let's do the other side once. So bringing the hands up. And then bring the hands in. Take the leg out behind you. Take the arms out. You take one arm down, the other arm up. And by accident, my back foot has actually found a wall. And it's a really nice way of doing this posture with the back foot on the wall. It gives me complete stability. So I'm kind of cheating in my near perfection of this posture. Let it go and stand back up. And then bring your hands back to your staff, your walking stick. And feel that reconnection and just how quick it is, how your mind, the consciousness of our minds is so fast and brilliant. And find yourself back in your place in nature. Notice the grasses, the trees, the meadows, the fields, the sand, the rivers, the animals. Being here. And release it. And let's just do one more yoga posture. Let's take the right leg back into a high lunge. Just to open up the front of the hip. Tuck your tailbone down and bring your hands either into a prayer, or if you want, you can extend them up. Make your back foot really like you're wearing high heels, stilettos, so your heel is lifted really high. Your back knee is straight, straight, straight. So see if you can make the back knee any straighter. Your tailbone is tucked. And your front knee is over your front ankle. And then you're going to use some strength to bring yourself forwards and a little bit of a push, stepping forwards, stepping backwards. So the other side, you take the other leg back now. And as you put the other leg back, you can see I'm just picking up my heel, lifting the heel high, pressing so that I really get a good stretch through my toes. And then I'm going to find my position where I'm not sticking my belly and chest forwards. I'm actually drawing my lower ribs down. So I use this strength that I have here, lengthening the low back, pressing the back knee straight, and bringing my hands to a prayer or to a position like this. And then from here, we're going to sit down. So I'm going to grab my computer and we're going to reconnect with each other, but on the ground. So I want you to think about what your body needs right now. Does it need like a wide-legged forward bend? Or would it prefer if you were in a bit of a twist? What does your body need? Or maybe it needs a whole mix of things. Or maybe, I'm going to show you one more thing. Maybe like this, where you have the leg like this, and then we just open up to the side. But, or and, not but. In your sitting position, give yourself a little bit of a stretch. And then I would love it if you can just give me a little check-in and let me know how you're doing and what your energy is like. Polly. I'm going to go into pigeon.
I feel so much better. I think that's the first time I've done our 3 movements where it may sound a little a little bit naff, but I think like the movements found me rather than I found the movements. Here's the little
School Romy. Welcome back from school, Romy.
Hello.
Your mother is just sharing important and wise things. So the movements found you.
Yes, for the first time, instead of me sort of searching for them too much. But you know, maybe because there was more of a need today, so it just felt completely natural and so healing. Go on, toodle off. I can't talk with you in my ear. And what was interesting too is that when you said the staff pose, without you then, before you'd even said be out in nature, I think you haven't said it yet, you know, I was in the woods, where the Bluebell Woods near where I was born there, and then my grandparents lived there, and it's quite a sort of special place for me. So I think it was just all really fitting in so perfectly. And yeah, I feel like a different person. So thanks very much.
Goodness. Good. Polly's come home to herself.
Yes, and also one last thing. I think also the whole, you know, I feel like women in a group now, I love it. Wasn't it? You know, I was always a bit sort of cautious. I always hated hen dos. I always hated that sort of girls together. But that's probably me just having a few bad experiences, you know, with that tacky side. But I feel like this is just so what I need. So thank you everyone, especially on International Women's Day.
So
yeah,
good.
It's just really, I think when women are supporting each other, it's amazing, as opposed to the other way around, which I think one can often come across that's slightly competitive. You know what I mean? Anyway, thanks. Sorry, rambling again.
You can ramble. You have so many wise words. Love it. Claire, how about you?
I love you, Polly. You basically say what I'm certainly thinking. I can't say on behalf of everyone else, but yeah, here. Sort of similar thing with the meditation. It was like a Disney moment, you know, when you're standing there, and I was in the meadow, the sun was rising, and everything was really, really sort of, it was proper rich primary colours. It was sort of reassuring, very comforting, and you could smell it all, and you could feel the warmth, and it was lovely. So thank you for that. And just clearing space and making space. I think it's lots of little shifts that I should probably write down, actually, that I'm feeling all the time, and I'm really, it's all giving me confidence towards things, more trusting my intuition, I think, on things, and even with the movements as well. I think it's about listening to my body more, and I like it. It's so thank you.
Yeah, wonderful. Grab your notebook, Claire. And I think in a moment we'll do a little meditation, and it's always good to just write out the thoughts that are there. So beautiful. Sherry.
I have lots of hard things going on, family-wise, and so I was just all tense, everywhere in my head and my heart and my being, and you know, it's not like it wasn't a miracle, but I feel stronger. I feel still don't feel quite as removed as I'd like to be, but It's good. It's probably just what I needed this morning. Y'all are always what I need when it's time. And, you know, it just helps put things in perspective. And, you know, the whole weight of the world can't stay here. So shake it off, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think as well as time goes by, what I see with all of us as the group, the more that we're here, then the more comfortable it is. It's that sense of like coming home to this place that's really like easier and easier and easier to drop into. And the movements, even though, I mean, they're simple and repetitive, and the simplicity and repetitiveness, then it's again easier and easier and easier to drop into them and find the richness of them more quickly. So I love that you're showing up, and I know that you've got a lot on. There you are in the craziness of Texas and figuring out your transition to Nicaragua, and somehow in your life you managed to have 9 children plus 1. You're a miracle.
Yeah, and they just told me that my mom's in Florida and that I need to come, and they don't know how long she's gonna last. So that's a big deal. You all have moms, right? You know, so this is something that I've never dealt with before. You know, and then my favorite, one of my favorite grandkids just got put in a mental place just because she's a teenager. You know, the cutting and stuff. So they want me to go up there. So I'm leaving in the morning to see what I can do for her. Just, you know, it's life, right?
Yeah. 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 Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for including me.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Debbie, how about you? Over in your corner of England.
Wow. Just taking a bit back about Sherry, that's just amazing. Just horrible things going on. But what always people say to me, there's always, you know, there's clouds floating around, but there's always the blue sky behind there. And it's just remembering that will come back, because that sounds quite awful for you. I'm sorry about that. Love what Polly said, actually. I totally could relate to that. And actually for me, just coming here and just, it makes me laugh, actually, to be quite honest. I just find it quite fun when we're all just sort of making noises, and because I don't really like the sound of my voice, so just making those sort of noise, I just think it's fun. I enjoy, you know, because it's just like there's people all over the place and we're just here just doing that. I just think it's quite good fun, and then just sort of enjoying the music and just the simple movements. Just, you know, being able to have the time to do that, really. It's Monday afternoon. I'm sure I should be doing other things.
No, forget it. You should be here.
Yeah, totally. Just letting it go. And so, yeah, I enjoy it because I feel like there's a bit of fun or a bit of, just makes me giggle.
Good.
I like that.
Good.
Serious.
That's lovely. Okay, we're going to go round one more time. And just like off the top of your head, what do you, and you can rephrase it, you can give me a different answer, you can go off script. What do you need? And maybe something around like, what do you not need? And you don't have to answer both, it may be too tricky. Polly, let's come back to you.
I liked the please. I love it, and I love that Debbie's been giggling too, because I'd forgotten how much I laughed when we were doing that singing last time. Oh my god, I'm almost crying just thinking about it. And I probably, I can't think of what I don't need, but I do like a bit of la 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 la. I don't know why, it just makes you feel better, doesn't it? Like it's just so, I don't sing, so I think singing is great. Thanks.
Okay, Claire.
Sorry, I muted myself. Can you come back to me? I was enjoying Polly chatting.
Okay, Debbie, let's go to you. What do you
Oh,
need?
gosh.
What do you potentially not need? Just off the top of your head.
I really don't know. Yeah, I like any
Go.
meditation. Any meditation, I love that. I've been listening to a couple of your things while I've been going to sleep, so I don't really know if I've actually taken them in because I just use them to go to sleep
Nice.
by.
Yeah.
I like doing that, and yes, I like the just doing the noises and the. I know they're not just noises. That sounds wrong. I don't mean to say it like that. And that love that mantra. That I really quite like. I've been listening to that a bit. So.
Okay, let me add to my questioning. What do you need does not necessarily need to be something about class. It could be that you need to go buy yourself a bunch of flowers. So just bear that in mind. You don't need to re-answer, but like, I don't know where I'd buy myself a bunch of flowers actually here. I have to cut them from the red flower bush outside. All right, Sherry, what do you need? What do you not need?
I need a walk in the woods.
Okay,
When I was holding my staff, I'm like, that's it. You know, that's always my escape. And you know how it is when life can get you so busy?
yeah. Okay.
You know, it can get you so busy. And I love the ohms. I don't think I've done that very often.
Yeah.
And it just felt so right. And the movements, I mean, I do that out in my backyard. So I was like, yes, I can just, it's such a relief, isn't it? A release just to not care who's looking and
Yeah.
to the music. So
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Who are we missing? Claire?
I'm here.
Mhm.
I think the omming is epic. Never underestimate an om. And you do, don't you? It tickles on that, because I think because of the release of the emotions, you do feel happier. I mean, it is, and it's also, I know for me, I carry tension in my rib cage, and so I have to not work harder, but I have to get a shift to get the omming coming at a different level. So it was really interesting playing with the different tones on that. But I'm enjoying the introducing the sound, and I find that I've, as a result, been singing more in the car if I get the chance to be on my own. And then I had the I release control on my Spotify, and then belting that out. So I think it's integrating the whole music, integrating sound, is just epic, isn't it? And we can do it so easily as well.
That's gorgeous.
But I'd like flowers too, if you're offering.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Flowers for everyone.
She's from Wiltshire. She's really posh. She's a really unlikely hippie because she sounds so posh that it doesn't seem possible for her to be such a kind of spiritual person. And the song, and I'm just trying to find it, and I can't remember what her name is. Does anyone know this? Let's see if I can get it. How I love you. How I love you. How I love you. This is what we're going to sing next. Love you. So it's just that, and hers is like, the melody is so beautiful, and I'll look her up afterwards because I have her her thing, her album somewhere. So let's do that. Let's do a meditation. Let's meditate first. 5 minutes. Lie down for 5 minutes. Get cozy, and then we're going to almond how I love you it up. And I'll start getting ready for you all to come visit and us to have like a singing night. All right, I guess we could do the singing night online actually. It doesn't even need to be in person. But I am going to take you on a little meditation journey. I'm going to close the door to stop the car sounds. So as you lie here, making sure that your head is supported, that you can release the tension in the back of your body, And feel your exhales flowing out of you and carrying out like a river, washing away any last pebbles, cobwebs, pieces of tension. And then I want you to place yourself, if it comes naturally, don't push, but if it comes naturally, place yourself in the place you went to with your walking stick, your staff, as though you're lying on the ground in that place, as though you're lying on the ground and you feel your connection to the earth. And the temperature is perfect. And if it was a chilly place that you'd chosen, you are covered in blankets, you are warmed. There might even be a little fire burning nearby. And you are just receiving the feeling of connection to nature. And it's as though you've been invited to a birthday party or dinner party, but your friends are the elements of nature. And so you've come to spend time, you've come to spend special time with the trees, the grasses, the animals. You're tending your connection to all the different elements and aspects of nature, which is just as important as our human friends, our earth family. And you feel as you lie there with this beautiful sense of connection and being received, you feel how happy the place where you are is, that you've come, how much it means to the earth, and to the creatures and the plants, to the air and the clouds, how much it means that you've shown up and you've come. And you just feel completely at ease and so happy. And perhaps even a little emotional just at the feeling of joy in the connection and ease. How welcome you are. And you just take it all in. And it doesn't take long, it just takes moments. The connection is there. You receive everything you need to from that place in just a moment. And you're going to imagine a basket. And you're going to imagine yourself, without physically moving, you're going to imagine yourself in your special place, sitting up. And you're going to imagine that for every worry, every trouble, every heartache and disappointment, that you place a little stone in the basket, which signifies the things that are really important in your day-to-day life, your struggles, the small ones and the big ones, the ones you express, the ones you don't express. And even with some tiny little stones, you put some pebbles in for the things that you've just become so accustomed to that you maybe don't even notice the ways in which you've held some things that have become familiar burdens. And nature in its generosity can take all of it. And so you just offer up that basket. You offer up your troubles, your worries. You lay yourself bare. You lay your heart open. You allow yourself to be vulnerable. And in the absolute safety of this space, you open your most secret self. And in letting yourself open, you just start to receive a peace, a kindness, a love that is so deep. And it runs through you like a river, filling your being. So that your spirit can feel light once again in a body that is comfortable. And then we're going to offer to nature, to the place that you are in your mind's eye. We're going to offer a song. Ooh, how rude. Not that kind of song. So we're going to offer our voices. And I want you to imagine that there's a little bird that's flown into a tree nearby, and it's chattering a little bit. And we're going to offer our ohms, and all of you are muted, so you can sing as loudly or as quietly as you want. And we'll sing 6 ohms. So first of all, just a normal breath in and out. Really try and stay in your body. And then the next breath in as we exhale as om. Om. And again. Find your own sound. One more. And then just following along with me when you can find the tune of it, the words, how I love you, how I love you, how I love you. Just so simple. How I love you, 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 do it 2 more times. How I love you. How I love you. Last one. How I love you. How I love you. And then we'll finish off class. And we'll do the last mantra. So I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. And you can come to sitting if you'd like, or you can stay lying down, whatever you want. And then I'll just quietly sign off. And so we'll just finish with the mantra. It's our last part of class. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. We'll do it a few times. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Let's do it 3 more times. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Let's do one more, almost just the quietest of voices, and bringing your hands to your hearts. I release control and surrender to the flow of love that will heal me. Just bringing your chin to your chest. And just noticing how your body is right now. And how your being is, how your mind is. And imagine that the grace that you carry and the beautiful place that you went to in your imagination of your meditation and with your staff. Imagine that we can gift some of that to the people who are in our lives for the rest of the day and the evening, without them even knowing. And that you can come back to this place whenever you need it. And so we finish class, and you'll get from me in this next couple of weeks a little bit of a movement video, which is going to contain some of the rhythm movements we've been exploring with the lightness of the jump and the floor movement. So some of the stuff that we're going to be doing is actually a little easier for me to pre-record and send you. Tricky to teach online without a microphone. So I'm going to send you that, and I'm going to send you another meditation, which you'll get both of those before we meet again in 2 weeks' time on the 22nd of March. And then we will also start transitioning. So next class, we'll have our last class of this rhythm theme. And then we just transition, and everything that comes before really kind of weaves into the next. We're going to go into what I call the foundations of healing, where we'll review some of the really important principles of healing. And one of the things that you can also have a look at, and I'll send this in an email, there was a wisdom interview with Jackie Daniels, which was called How to Know If You Need Healing. And that was a really beautiful one. And that sets things up really nicely for April, moving into kind of like a place of beginning, the foundations of healing. So that's where we're going. So March, a little bit more rhythm work, foundations of healing, and then going into the 3 steps of the program. That's all movement medicine, where we do breath work, nervous system work, and heart work, which is part of what I call the resiliency and recovery program. So we're going to explore lots of things over the course of these next few months. Okay. All right, lovely ladies. Sending you so much love. And thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.